register when writing. What is register, you ask? This is essentially the type of language used and determined by the degree of formality. It can be affected by vocabulary choices, how you pronounce words, and the syntax or arrangement of these words, helping to establish also purpose or social context. But that's a lot. Let's put it simply. It is the type of language you use in a specific situation. Here's an example. Look at these different greetings. Hey Ben, what's going on? Good morning, sir. How are you? Yo, bud, what's crackin'? Hello, Benjamin. How are you? Now, essentially, all of these communicate a greeting and a directive to Ben. But which one would you use to greet your teacher? Which one would you use to greet your best friend? Thinking about the least formal and most formal, there are registers of language here that are utilized for different situations. Every day, the language you use is what we call your register. It also changes depending on your situation. Think about when you're in your bedroom, or when you're in the cafeteria, or when you're hanging out with a friend. Your register is probably less formal, but it's important that you shift gears and know when it is time to use a more formal type of language. It's important that you select it when writing as well. Before you start writing a piece, you'll need to answer these questions. What is the genre, the audience, the purpose, and the style for which I should be communicating? Easy way to remember this is GAPS. Genre, audience, purpose, style. This presentation is going to help you understand utilizing all four of these components in both your reading skills and writing. Genre is the category in which a writing piece belongs. For example, just like a playlist where you've got types of music, here you have types of writing. A letter, a magazine article, a newsletter, an essay. The genre is also important to know because when you prepare to write it, you need to know how to prepare it. Knowing the genre means you know the type of writing piece it will be. From there, you start to shift on how you will develop the layout, how you will design the style, and probably the language you decide to use. For example, in a magazine article, you know that you have a headline, you have an introductory paragraph, you have components like photographs and captions. When you're thinking about how each piece has an audience, everything we read and write is really intended for publishing to a reader. The type of person you will be reading and writing to really will affect the style. Note that this audience, although your reader may always be your teacher, you must think in terms of the intended audience. So it's not just for Mrs. Robert, but you're writing to a friend, or you're writing to a boss, or you're writing for an opportunity to be published as a poet. Why do I need to know the audience before writing? Well, keep in mind, knowing your intended audience before you write is essential because it will ultimately determine your style. The gaps add up. They impact how you communicate and whether or not your language is appropriate, timely, relevant, fitting to the situation. For example, when you're writing a car review for a car enthusiasts magazine, your audience are going to be fans of cars. So you would use jargon, which is words or vocabulary, and technical details that they would be familiar. Yet, you would write a different type of review if it were to appear in a lifestyle section of a newspaper. Your audience would change, and you would need to adapt. Purpose. Your purpose is your answer to the question, why are you writing this piece? Are you writing to inform somebody, to educate somebody, to entertain somebody, to persuade somebody? What is it that you want from them? Well, why do I need to know the purpose before writing? Knowing your purpose will develop and help you choose your style. Ultimately, that style will contribute and develop your content. If you don't even know why you're writing, then you're really meandering and you probably are lacking structure and also seeming weak and unconvincing. If you're writing an editorial, your purpose is to inform and persuade. There's lots of information you need, but you're backing it up with persuasive language techniques. Last but not least, your style. Just as you decide how you will look in the world, if you're stylish or not, your style of writing refers to the type of language that you use given your word choices and tone. You may have a personal writing style, but different ones for different audiences can really help you be more effectively with different purposes. But why do I need to know the style before writing? Knowing the style you intend to write in will inform your choice of language and words. Keep in mind, the style can influence other elements, and so you want to be aware of your genre, audience, and purpose so that your style will fit that situation. For example, in a news report, you know that your purpose is to inform, and your audience is the general public. Though you'll write a formal, factual way, because these are not your personal friends. They are the public. So you would use persuasive language that sounds sophisticated and intelligent and hopefully convincing. Keep in mind, your job is to work out the following before writing. G, genre. What type of piece is this? Is it a poem? Is it an article? Is it a story? Is it a speech? This will impact, especially when you consider your audience. Who will be reading this? How will they be impacted? What is the relationship that you have with them? What is it that you hope to get out of it? Knowing your audience matters to purpose. Because what do you want from them? Do you hope to achieve a certain persuasion, information? Do you hope to entertain or get support? Purpose is important because it develops your style. When you have a style, you are learning also your unique voice. What sort of language will you use? Is it emotional? Is it objective, factual? And when do you need to switch gears from something that's more formal and professional to something that's more casual, informal, and personal?